right, so this little different. We're not passing around a microphone, so this is kind of one of those things that I'm going to ask a question, and then more than likely you are going to look at each other, wondering who's going to answer first, and that's okay. But it's kind of one of those things that there's not going to be an order to this. I'm not like starting here and then we're going to go to there. I want this to be something that just kind of happens organically. So we'll ask the questions, and then I'll just sit here and wait. As you. Hopefully you've had an opportunity to take a look at the questions and really reflect on, again, how you have been trained up, how your leadership has been shaped. And I think that'd be obviously a beautiful perspective for parents to be able to hear as we talk about having a first grader. I've got an eighth grader who has expressed wanting to be you, by the way. And so what are some things that as she gets ready to enter into high school next year that we need to not only just start doing, but continue to do, and maybe there are some areas where we need to start doing for her if she's in a place where she wants to be sitting at this table in the future. So this is one of those things that can meet parents wherever they are, right? Wherever they've got if they've got a younger or if they've got a kid that's in high school right now. So we'll jump into this first question, the easy question. Introduce yourselves and your role in the executive council.
I'm Charlie Wilborn. I'm student body president.
I'm Thomas Indaramola, and I'm student body vice president.
I'm Josiah Knapp, and I'm the student body treasurer.
I'm Joshua Saini, and I'm the spiritual liaison.
I'm Finley Bazin, and I'm the student body secretary.
I'm Connie Rawl, and I'm the head of public relations.
Okay, you are doing great so far. Well done. What is one main attribute that your parents, family, teachers, coaches, etc., has equipped you with in your past, right? What's one main thing? And there's a bunch, right? There's a lot of things we could talk about on this, but as you look at your upbringing, as you look at the people who've spoken to your life, what is one thing that has jumped out at you that has equipped you to be the leader that you are today? This is the moment.
For me, I would say my parents taught me about resilience, and they've made it an important aspect of my life that if God doesn't want me to do something, then I wouldn't be doing it. The idea that he puts me where I'm supposed to be, and that's how I should go.
That's amazing. My parents have instilled a servant's heart, and that's really equipped me in my leadership, especially putting other people's needs before my own. It's been super important as I go throughout the day, and I get to hear the concerns about the student body, and as well as the teachers and the faculty at SCS. And it can be a servant, in the servant heart, there's so many aspects I get to fulfill and go through, with either with encouragement or a smile. It goes a long way, and it's been super important in my leadership.
That's good.
Okay, I would say for me, my parents have shown me the importance of self-motivation. Even since kindergarten, they have never told me an assignment is due. I had to do it myself, and that has brought me into who I am, that your parents are going to be there for every single thing. Eventually they have to let go and say, this is your life, you got to do what you want to do with it. And so I'm grateful for that.
I'm gonna ask another question, Connie. It's big, because as a parent, we're always wondering, when do I say, hey, I'm gonna carry you through this? When do I say, hey, this is you, kid? You've got, at this point, you've got to figure that out. And I'm okay with anybody answering this question, but where do you believe that? And I know it's a process. I don't think it's all right, well, it's a Tuesday, we're going to start making it all on them. As you look at your upbringing, where did you see in your upbringing that your family started, your parents started to say, hey, this is going to be more on your shoulders? Where do you feel like that started? I know there's things as when you're little, they're starting to teach you that, but when they said, hey, it's you, where do you think that happened?
I think for me, seriously, in kindergarten, they never told me about a single assignment, but they always made it known that they were there to help me if I asked for it, but I had to make that call, hey, Mom and Dad, I need help. So I just figured it out, and lucky for me, it worked out well. So.
Anybody else, anything, when your parents kind of handed that over to you? When your family handed that over to you? Any other perspectives on that?
I think, I mean, I think my parents were more involved probably early on. I don't
Yeah.
know that I was as self-motivated as Connie as a kindergartner.
Mm-hmm.
But I think especially as I got into high school, my brother went to public school and we had completely different schedules. And so it was up to me to make sure that I knew where I was supposed to be, when I was supposed to be there, and had everything figured out. And so same thing. They were always like, I'm always here to help, but like, this is your life and you need to be responsible and manage it.
Do you think if you hadn't figured this out that you would be sitting in this seat? Yeah. 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 All right. Keep on with the main question. What's one thing that jumps out at you as far as your upbringing goes that has shaped you to be the leader you are today? What else we got there?
For me, my main attribute is like interpersonal skills. My dad is like extremely social and he's like big extrovert, but he knows people really well, and he like definitely instilled that with me. So was my mom, because you can't lead the people you don't know. So you have to like be just on level with them. You can't be above them or like off to the side. You have to be like with them and knowing them like every step of the way. You can't just be absent and be like, oh, well, I'm going to lead them now. You have to know them really well to be able to do that.
That's good. That's good.
So for me, your kids are going to hate me for this one, but both my parents are educators. They're like very knowledgeable, and they basically inspired like through like books and reading, they inspired like a thirst for learning and like knowing more. And like it wasn't even like, it was just like storybooks, but I started reading like really young, and they had to make a rule like no books in the bathroom because we would sit on the toilet and like hog the toilet because we were reading so much. It's just like it inspires, like, first of all, like you become more knowledgeable and thus more confident in your like speaking skills, like more eloquent. And it's just like this, it inspires this thirst for more that is really beneficial when you get to like a high school stage of like, it inspires you to get involved, do everything, and like basically like just like learn.
Yeah, that's big.
I think the main attribute that like Christian leaders in my life have taught me is humility, and that I didn't really have, but like I had small leadership things, like I did Hope Squad in elementary school and things like that. But when I started at SCS is really, I think, when I discovered like really great Christian leaders, like in my teachers and in the staff here. And I observed that like they are all humble. Like I've never met one that's like prideful or like, they treat their leadership position like service, because that's what it is. And so I think like when I think of people like Mr. Johnson or Dr. Yoakum that are very intentional about knowing every student's name and like being encouraging and caring more about like just caring about the kids. And I think that's true for us as well. Like we're here to serve our peers and not to put ourselves up on a pedestal.
Yeah, that's good. All right, what has been the most difficult aspect of being a student leader? So the seat that you're sitting in right now, and there's so many different layers to this, but I want you to talk on the most difficult aspect, but also I'm curious to see, because my guess is that as you dealt with this struggle, you came home and talked about it. And we're very interested in the difficulty, what's the most difficult aspect, but we're also really interested in how did your parents guide you? What was their advice? What was their wisdom? Did they kind of just say, well, you got to figure this out? Or was there intentionality in on what you did next, the response? So kind of a two-parter. What's been the most difficult aspect of being a student leader? And then, again, how did your family, parents, leadership, how did they help you in walking through that?
Mine would definitely be time management, especially because I'm in this leadership position, but I'm also in other leadership positions like throughout different organizations on campus. So definitely being able to manage like my schoolwork and my activities and then my leadership like role. And so all of those things like coming together is kind of hard to deal with time-wise. Like you definitely have to like balance out. But one way my parents and me and my mom just had a conversation last night. I told her I was going to be in a new leadership position like coming up later this year. She was like, oh, I'm so excited for you. I'm a little scared for you, but I'm so excited for you, because she knows how I get about like time and like I feel like I'm all over the place. But My parents have always been like a endless source of like support and like motivation and like a you got this, and they can't help with like time management, like specifically like that's something you have to be able to do for yourself, but like just like endlessly like caring and supporting and like being able to like recognize where you need help has been really beneficial in my life.
That's good. What else? Most difficult aspect?
So similarly, I would say balance as well. Specifically, like recently as well, I've been my parents will come into my room. I'm like sleeping on the floor, and they're
Okay, all right.
and they're like understand that I'm doing a lot. Like I'm trying to balance, some really different leadership aspects and also schoolwork, and trying to balance that as well and put like my full capabilities in all that I'm doing.
Yeah.
And so they've been really supportive and motivating, and like allowing me to sleep more and on the weekends, and like checking up on me, have eaten dinner, like making sure that I am also caring for myself as well as I'm also trying to care for others too.
Sure. Yeah, it's big.
I think my most difficult aspect is also balance, but as far as something that I I have a specific memory of my parents helping me was running for a class council and also executive council, like making the decision as an 8th grader to run for class council and being like, there's no way.
Yeah.
Like, there's absolutely no way I can do this, And even for executive council, because I was, it's the whole student body and stuff like that, and being really nervous about that. And my stepdad was just like, just pray about it and just keep praying about it, And this seems like a great thing. And, you'll go through this process and it's going to be nerve-wracking, and like whatever happens is what the Lord wants for you. And like learning to surrender that to him in prayer was something that I still am really grateful for.
Yeah.
Part of my answer is similar to Charlie's. It's like the actual running to like get here. I remember last year when it was time for like re-elections and stuff like that, like I heard that the like elections were coming up and my heart just dropped. I was just so scared to like run again. But it's like, it's as Charlie said, like that's what my dad told me, like just pray about it. And as I said earlier, like if you weren't supposed to be here, you wouldn't be. But then also the other aspect that I think is difficult, I don't know if y'all will agree with me, but it has to do with the student body itself, accommodating for everybody. Because for the student body, it's all of high school. So when we're planning events, which is a major part of what we do, we have to think like, will the freshmen have fun doing this, even though like they're probably gonna lose? Like, will they have fun? Will the sophomores like they're a little rebellious? Like, are they gonna have fun? Like, is it gonna be like something that everybody's gonna enjoy? But at the end of the day, like, you can do your best as long as you're trying your best to ensure that the people around you, or like the majority of the people around you, are gonna have fun. I think that's all that matters. Like, you're not doing it with a selfish heart. You're doing it thinking about the people that you're serving. I think that's what my parents have taught me about that as well.
So personally, the hardest part is like this right here, like talking to strangers, like having to like step outside my comfort zone, like they'll have you have to get like feedback from the student body. And so I'm naturally like more introverted, not that big on like strangers, and really my dad helped me with this because he's the same way. If you met him, you would never guess that he's introverted. Like, he's like loud and proud, like, what's your name, like, nice to meet you, everything. But like, and then just seeing that he's also comfortable at, like, being by himself, being alone, like taking the time when he needs to be an introvert, and like knowing like how to like flip that switch almost, and like know when it's appropriate, and being able to like balance the two. And like he taught me that really well, and just being able to overcome that like boundary of not being able to talk to strangers.
Yeah. That's big.
Okay, mine is really similar, which shows it's a big problem or like a big difficulty, but really like balancing every single thing. Like, we do a lot, and what my parents have done is they've said like, they just remind me like, you've chose to do this, you know that, right? Like, you don't have to do everything. And so that just tells me like, oh yeah, like this is something I want to do, and I want to do all these things. And so that's just like motivation to get everything done and to do it well.
Yeah, that's good. I'm going to ask you a question that's not on your paper. I'm so sorry. Some of you had said something I'm just really intrigued by. what's your guess? What's the response of your parents if you didn't get this seat? If you didn't win this election? What's your view towards that? Is that the worst day ever? Is it something else? What if you didn't get this seat? You worked your tail off for it. You feel like, okay, I think I've got a shot at this, or I'm scared to death of it, right? Totally fine. What would be your perspective, and how do you think your parents would respond? How do you think they would guide you? If announcements came out, Dr. Yoakum let you know who got the executive council, and your name wasn't said. I know I didn't ask this question, but I'm so curious. What would be your response? And if it's throwing your iPhone into the lake, it's fine. I'm curious because you have a perspective that, a lot of you talked about balance. A lot of you talked about the pressure of it, the speaking in front of people, right? There's so many different angles that I would imagine a lot of our kids would really struggle with, right? Another thing is what happens when things don't go the way I wanted them to go. And so just curious, and listen, this might be the worst question I'm asking right now, but I'm really curious. What would be your perspective if you didn't get this seat?
For me, I have been in the position where I did not get the seat. I ran for class council many times and did not get the position, and now I'm so glad that's the way it turned out because I could do this, and I had a different perspective coming into running for this. But I remember running and being disappointed that I didn't get the position and going home and telling my parents, and I remember just talking about how being in a leadership position and having that title is not being a leader. Those two things are not the same thing. And you can be a leader on your campus without being in a name tag leadership position, without being on the panel or being so just that persistence and keep going, and here I am.
It's beautiful. It's good. Any other thoughts on that?
I think that there's a misconception, when you don't get into this position, nobody likes you. You didn't get voted because, people were just, they didn't want to vote for you, and, you're just, not popular. And I think that's something that people struggle with, when they don't get here. And I think it's important for you to realize, or for the people to realize that that's not true. Don't tell yourself that. You, and as Finley said, you can lead in different ways. And I think that's important, that if you don't end up here, this school is so large, there's things that you can go and do and go and find that, in fact, you might even like better than being here. I think that's important, and
Yeah, that's good.
I think that's really good. Of being being on this or not being on this, doesn't define you at all. And it I think that's so true. Of kids really feeling really sad, and I know if I didn't make it, I'd probably be sad too. But also I know that what Finley said, I think is so important of being an unofficial leader. Being a leader, you don't have to have a title. And I think some of the best leaders that I know are people who didn't have a title but just led by example in the way that they did what was asked of them and how they treated people. And I think that's so true. There's so many other ways to lead here.
It's big. Sorry to throw that question at you. I'm probably going to throw another one at you later, but not right now. What advice would you give to CTC students who are wanting to be where you are when they get to this age?
I would tell them to be nice to everybody and to all of your teachers, because that is literally who's voting for you. And that's the most important thing.
Your reputation can get solidified very early. When you get to middle school, when you get to high school, people are gonna know who you are inside and outside of leadership. So you can't just flip a switch and become a leader. You have to be a leader outside of just the election season. You can't just all of a sudden be, oh well, I'm running, so I'm all nice now all of a sudden. Your words and your actions have to reflect who you want to who you want to be as a leader, and you can't just start when you're running.
And I think a piece that almost connects to that is just getting involved in everything. I think if you'll ask any of us up here, we're spread very thin. We're in a lot of different things, and it's just first of all, you get to know your community, and you get to be in so many different different communities. like I'm on the soccer team, Model UN, like people from very different, like people on the soccer team, but people on Model UN are like very, very different. And you get to be like almost like a bridge, and you get to like learn from the soccer team, learn from Model UN, and then like it's first of all, you get that community piece where people know you and people like actually like you. And then you also have the learning piece where you absorb all the best parts from every experience. So just like get involved, like do everything you can.
Yeah.
I think that was very well said, and I think I have a similar answer, and same with Connie's. Just talking to everybody, I think that's like really, because when you're here, like it's not just your class you're supposed to be talking to, it's all of high school. Like it's talking to the freshmen and the sophomores. It's like getting to know these people, because I mean all of us are seniors right now, but like all these people, they also look up to you, and I guess like getting perspective from different angles, I think that can really like change who you are as a person, and it just helps our school be better in general.
Yeah, absolutely. Going back to like starting now, and like as we said before, like being on the leadership team doesn't make you a leader. Like the title doesn't make you a leader. It's like what you do in your everyday life, and specifically, it's like making sure like what you do in each and every moment is something that like God will be proud of. Like He's seeing you doing that as well, and so it's making sure that you are like having integrity and showing integrity, and because people are always watching, and it's sometimes hard to like wrap our minds around, but someone's always watching you. Like maybe you have trash on the floor and you just look around, but someone's watching you right now. And then whenever you go up to the ballot, they'll like see you like, oh, that guy, he doesn't really care about the school. And then like it can build up. So just like making sure to have integrity in like the start now.
Sure.
I think everything they said is basically exactly what I was going to say. It was awesome. Y'all all summed it up perfectly. I couldn't say it better. I think the one thing that specifically Dr. Yoakum and Mr. Bird that I see them doing is reminding us, like Dr. Yoakum says this in our weekly meetings, of like have your eyes up and like look for people who don't feel seen. And I think being kind to everybody is really important. And I also think being kind to more than just your friends, like more than just your inner circle, you know, and like reaching out to people is really important.
I have another one.
Yeah, go for it.
I would also say, like, for CTC students, and like whenever you're moving up into the upper campus, to be friends with the people that are older than you, that are in the position you want to be in. Because I have learned so many things from like all of my older buddies that are now gone, that like I see and I want to be, and like they tell you your friends are like pretty much who you're going to be. And so if you surround yourself with people that are excellent, your chances of being excellent go up like 1,000,000%.
I have 2 questions left, and neither one of them are the last question that's on the sheet. I'm sorry, you just guys are saying things, and I'm like, that's big. You're saying some really good things, and I think it's rooted in a foundational piece that I want to make sure we take a look at. How has your faith been a factor in the leader that you are today? Now, because I didn't write that one down, I'm gonna give you a little time to think about this. How is your faith? Because you guys are saying like, be nice, be kind. I love that. It's awesome. How is that connected to your understanding of who God's called you to be? How has your faith shaped the leader that you are today? Has it had little impact? Has it had a lot of impact? Is it the foundational piece on why we're kind, or why we have to work on balance, or why we have to figure out how to speak in front of a lot of people, or what being resilient looks like and dealing with struggles? How has your faith shaped who you are today as a leader? And I kind of apologize for giving you questions that aren't on your page, but I kind of don't, because you got this. How has your faith shaped the kind of leader that you are today?
I think it is the foundation, because as you said, like, it gives me an outlook on why I am why I do talk to everybody, because I see everybody as like an image bearer. I see everybody as like God put you here for a reason, like you have purpose. And so I think that helps me when it comes to talking to others and being around others. And I think also with the public speaking part and like talking in front of everybody, like when I pray, like God gives me the words to say. The words that I say, like they're important because they came from Him, and that's what I've been told to do. And I think it's helped me a lot.
That's good.
Yeah, that was incredibly said, and I'll say as well that it's truly the foundation, and like I truly wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my faith. Like God's equipped me with the strength and the energy, and to be able to balance everything as well. And like everything I like do for His leadership, I wouldn't be able to do without Him truly. And it comes down to like He's like there every step of the way, and He's equipped us with everything that we need to follow His blueprint that He set here on this earth, and being able to like show His characteristics, His humility, His kindness, His love is truly like shown and truly like enrooted into my leadership.
Yep.
What I tell myself every day is the joy of the Lord is my strength. It is hard. Some days are not easy to wake up and be like, I have this many things to do today. Are you serious? And so, like, just to know that, like, the Lord, He gives you exactly what you need for that day. Mm-hmm. And that, like, everything I do is literally because of Him. Like, I would not be able to do anything without Him. And I remind myself of that humility piece, which I think is so crucial. And also just to remember that, like, Paul says, he counted everything as joy. Every hardship, every good thing, like you count it all as joy, and that is exactly like how you can get to where we are today, and how to continue to build relationships, and how to continue to just be a leader, because Jesus was the biggest leader, and He was the most joyful person there was.
Yeah, that's good.
I think that Jesus was definitely like the picture of a servant, and He just found this way to like bring all these people that were kind of like on the outliers, and like people on the outskirts of like the society, and like found a way to like bring them in and like show them love, like despite like their background and who they are. And like He washed His disciples' feet. Like that is completely a servant thing to do, and that's like God's Son is washing like these people's feet. That it's like a crazy image to think about. But I think for me, like as my faith has grown stronger as I've gotten older, my leadership skills have also grown stronger. So there's like a positive correlation between that.
It's beautiful.
I mean, I think I kind of touched on this, but I think I try to, like, my faith is the reason for all the things that I do, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And as an 8th grader, when this email came out, I was new my 8th grade year, and this was at the end of it. And, you know, the email came out that was like, you should, like, everyone run for class council. And I was like, there's no way I could do that. And not even knowing, like, I had, like, no self-confidence at all, and just thought, like, I don't know what to do. And then every year when it came around, like, I ran for it, and then was like, Lord, this is in your hands. And if this is where you want me, then, you know, I would love to be here. But if not, like, I'll keep trusting you. And so I never, like, I never expected it every year, but I was really, like, grateful and excited to be able to keep serving again. And, yeah, so I think the prayer part is a big one for me, of specifically, like, running for these types of things, and also praying for, like, discernment and wisdom to know how to handle things. Like, I'll just be like, Lord, or like what Thomason said of, like, giving her the words to speak. I'm like, I don't know. I'm so nervous right now. I don't know what to do. Like, help me, understand how to reach these people. Help me, accomplish your will, and just things like that I think is so important.
So for me, it's definitely just like having something to like check myself almost. Like, because I think you can be a good leader and not a great person. It's like you could like look in history and find a couple, but it's like when I'm whatever I do, I can like basically like put myself in the mold of the Bible and my faith, and be like, does this fit in that mold? And if not, it's not supposed to be here. And it's kind of just something to like fall back on, and like basically like the foundation piece that I can't like boundaries almost.
Yeah, because you're always on, right? And I know that can be tiring at times, but you're always being looked at through the lens of you're the leadership of the school. And that could be I don't remember who said it earlier, but somebody's talking about, there are some days, I think Connie said it, some days it's really hard, and I completely understand. I would imagine that every parent could say, yep, I've had some of those tough days, but you have done it so well that your peers have seen it, and they're like, yes, I need this person to be the voice for the student body. Now, I would also say and guess that none of us have arrived, right? None of us have gained perfection when it comes to being a leader. And so we continue to pursue, again, who God's called us to be. This last question, I'm so sorry for this. I am so curious, though. All right, I'm talking to future parents right now.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Talking to future parents. And I'm gonna place some rules on this question. What is one attribute, what is one characteristic, what is one tool that you would want to equip your future son or daughter with? Like, you're looking at this like, no, this one's a big one. Now, here's the catch. You can't say it if it's already been said. So I need you to come up with a list in your head right now, on the spot, and I want you to think about this. What is something that I'm like, this is a game changer. Whenever I learned this, whenever I obtained this tool, whenever I understood this aspect of character, that was a big deal for me. And I want to make sure that my son or daughter has this. And so it's so important that I see it right now that I want to make sure they are equipped with this in the future. And whoever talks first gets the free rein on what you're sharing, because once that's said, you can't say it again. And so,
I'm ready to go. I'm trying to go first. I don't. My number one thing is perseverance. I think that is the most important thing. Like, I think rejection is a part of life.
Yeah.
We know that. Mistakes are made. We know that. But the idea that you learn from your mistakes and you go and make a difference, you go and change what you did wrong, and you go and try and be better. You might not always be better, but as long as you're trying, something will change inside of you, and I think that's what's important. I've seen it in my schoolwork as well. I think that's also important for the Chisholm Trail students, academics, sports, if you did bad in a game, you go talk to the coach, ask him what you did wrong. You fail your quiz, you go ask your teacher, how can I do better? How can I do better? Can you teach this to me? Finding ways to, put yourself aside. Maybe you don't get to, hang out with your friends that weekend. Maybe you don't get to do this. But knowing that it's going to change you, it's going to make you better, I think that's the perseverance aspect.
So as a parent, you don't ever want your kid to hurt. You just don't. And so sometimes we will try to be in front of that hurt so they don't have to deal with it. But we often forget that some of our biggest, moments in life are learned from our toughest days. And so that's big. What that means, though, is that your future son or daughter is going to have tough days. And understanding that's part of the shaping. And I would imagine all of you have stories on, this tough season shaped me in this way. And that's beautiful. All right, what else we got next? So no one else can say perseverance.
Okay, guys, I'm going. Okay, I would say the ability to create a community for yourself. My kid is sad and lonely on a Wednesday night. Well, they better put their butt in church. Hello. And also, I run cross country and track. It's so terrifying before a race, but good thing I have a team to rely on. I'm not focused on myself. I'm focused on, hey, how can I help you? How can I pray for you? And that is huge. I don't know. AP Bio, oh my gosh. We had a study group every Sunday.
Yeah, we did.
The ability to say, I have friends, I have people, and that you have to go out there and create that. Not everyone's going to text you first. Not everyone's going to say, hey, are you struggling? No, you got to go figure it out for yourself sometimes. And so that's what I would say. You better be able to find friends.
Good. All right, so perseverance, community. What else we got?
I would say authenticity, of being being obedient to your parents,
Yeah.
and respecting your parents, and like especially if your parents are like Christians and everything, like
Yeah.
being like living the way that they want you to live.
Yeah.
But I think also not trying to be something that you're not, just to please people, is really important.
Yeah.
And like not being fake, and just being genuine to people, I think is
Yeah.
super important.
Okay. Perseverance, community, authenticity. Love it. What else we got?
So I think like something I'll definitely try to inspire is an open mind and like a broad worldview. And so like I grew up like internationally, so I believe like I embody that quite well. But whether that be like if you bring your kid like around Fort Worth or like around Texas or around the States or even internationally, like just like letting them see that, hey, there are people that think different than you, but they're people, and like and letting them like just like kind of like immerse themselves in different things, and like that also like ties back to like the clubs, like you can join like different things, but just have it like inspiring them to like not be stuck in one worldview, and like not be stuck in their way of thinking, and of course they need to stay, they can't be influenced like outside of like the Christ-like behavior, but it's like to inspire like a, I don't know, just like an open mind, because you find that when you relate to people like you.
Yeah. The only tough thing, as a parent is because the world is really good. You had talked about, the other worldviews not, affecting our Christ-like behavior, right? Well, it's something that Satan has gotten really good at, right? He's gotten really good at being able to have the world affect, your behaviors, your mentality, your foundation. And so definitely being able, it's one thing that Jesus did really well, right? I mean, he came in and his Sermon on the Mount uprooted the way humanity thought, right? I mean, to where Jews and Gentiles now are part of the conversation, and to be able to see humanity through that lens is vital. The fearful part is making sure that the world doesn't knock us off of our foundation of who we are in Christ. So definitely big to be able to see God's children in that way, for sure. All right, what else we got?
I would say delegation.
Okay. In a world filled with a lot of you have talked about balance. Delegation, I like it. Elaborate on that.
So a lot of times when we're in this leadership position, we get like so caught up in like, I want to do this, I want to put myself first, and accumulate the most amount of tasks and accomplishments. But then that comes down to the balance and humility that a lot of times we get so caught up and we get stressed. But all we can do, we can like rely on others. We can going back to God gave us a community, and He gave us people that we can rely on and we can call upon, and we see that throughout the Bible as well. And it's so important for us to be able to delegate and to give other people the chance also to like step up and lead as well. And as we all lead together, we're not like above anyone else. We're all equal and all made in the image of God, and all have the ability to lead and further His kingdom.
All right, I like it. It's tough to do sometimes.
Okay, mine is willingness to like try new things, and I know that's something we've talked about a lot, but just as a parent, saying yes to a lot of different things that like, and it also encouraging like. Yeah. If you had told me in 7th grade like all the things that I'm involved in now, I wouldn't have believed you. I would have been like, I don't. That's not my interest. Like I don't like doing those things. That's not what I spend my time doing. And like, and I know we've all like been involved in so many different clubs and activities and organizations. Like we represent a wide,
sure.
I think, a thinly spread is how you say, like a really wide range of like activities on campus, and like. We have many like spheres of influence, and like I would have never gotten that if my parents hadn't pushed me to try new things. Yeah. And like I've been in sports and arts and like academic clubs and like all over the place, and just as a parent being able to say yes, let's try it. Yeah. Like yes, when your child like brings that to you and is like, hey, I want to try this out, great, let's do it.
Yeah, that's good. All right, did everybody share one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, good. I just don't want anybody to get away from that question. Hey, will you guys give these guys a round of applause? So again, we've never arrived. We all have to continue to learn what it means to be the leader God's called us to be. And I want to pray over you. And we're going to end this, and you guys are going to go back to class and do great things. It's going to be awesome. Thank y'all I'm going to say thank you, because this is something we haven't ever done before. And I shot you guys this email, and I was waiting for people to yell at me, like, oh, I'm not doing this. But you guys didn't. You're like, yeah, we got this. That's good. Thank you so much. We're nervous, but we got this. And so thank you. Thank you for doing that. We're super proud of you and leadership that you have. And my hope is that you continue to pour into, the generations underneath you, the underclassmen, and provide an example for them what it means to serve in a way that honors our Father. So let's pray, and we'll go from there. Father, we thank you for today. I thank you for these students. I thank you for their hearts. I thank you for the lessons learned, God, and their desire to want to teach about it, to share some of the things that have shaped their leadership. And I thank you for their humility in it. I thank you for their desire to be, opportunity to be vulnerable in this. As cameras are looking at you, as parents are looking at you, there can be a stress with that. And I thank you so much they're willing to do this. Father, I pray over their time this year. There's some beautiful things that are happening this school year. You're doing something that I know a lot of our community notices and sees. And so I pray that your Holy Spirit just continues to move through this school, continues to shape us, continues to guide us, that your hand of covering would be over these specific students right now as they lead, as they are the voice for the students, God, that they'd be able to see this school through your lens and not their own, and that you would again just protect them and guide them during this time. We love you and we thank you. We do this in your Son's beautiful name. Amen.